Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. Today is June the 29th. Good morning to you. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. Hood is an acronym that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. If you need to reach me, please email me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. And thank you for following me. Let's get into the just for today meditation. Okay, this one is entitled Keeping Recovery Fresh, June 29th. Complacency is the enemy of members with substantial clean time. If we remain complacent for long, the recovery process ceases. Basic text, page 84. After the first couple of years in recovery, most of us start to feel like there are no more big deals. If we've been diligent in working the steps, the past is largely resolved and we have a solid foundation on which to build our future. We've learned to take life pretty much as it comes. Familiarity with the steps allows us to resolve problems almost as quickly as they arise. Once we discover this level of comfort, we may tend to treat it as a rest stop on the recovery path. Doing so, however, discounts the nature of our disease. Addiction is patient, subtle, progressive, and incurable. It's also fatal. We can die from this disease unless we continue to treat it. And the treatment for addiction is a vital, ongoing program of recovery. The 12 steps are a process, a path we take to stay a step ahead of our disease. Meetings, sponsorship, service, and the steps always remain essential to ongoing recovery. Though we may practice our program somewhat differently with 5 years clean than with 5 months, this doesn't mean the program has changed or become less important, only that our practical understanding has changed and grown. To keep our recovery fresh and vital, we need to stay alert for opportunities to practice our program. Just for today, as I keep growing in my recovery, I will search for new ways to practice my program. That is a dream. This just for today in a meditation is like the utopia of recovery, right? To be able to get to a point where we're able to resolve problems almost as quickly as they arise, where we actually live life on its own terms. And we understand that the only thing that we can control is our reactions, our actions. Even our thoughts are not necessarily controllable. Many of our thoughts are actually automatic thoughts, right? And so they just come. There's always a flooding of thoughts. But when we notice, and we're working a spiritual program, when we notice that those thoughts are leaning into negativity, we can take action. We can check those thoughts as quickly as they come, or as quickly as we notice that they're presenting a problem. Right? Because the disease of addiction is patient, it's subtle, it's progressive, and it's incurable. So we don't get to work all the steps and then just lay back on our laurels, right? We have to continue to live this program of recovery, this lifestyle of recovery. You know, one of the things I notice about people with substantial amount of clean time is that there's a tendency to be swept away with all of the benefits or achievements that we've gained as a result of our recovery. We have a lot of people in our area that are social workers. They've gone and they've gotten degrees in social work. And one of the things I notice about them when I see them in meetings is that the urgency to share, right? The gift of desperation. Not that it's not there or they haven't had it, but their interaction in the meetings is very withdrawn. And they may come to a meeting every day, but that sense of urgency or needing to share is not there. And one of the things I think happens is that after you get your GED or you get your diploma or you go ahead and get your associates at a community college or you go on and you become, educated with a bachelor's and then a master's. And a few of us I know have gotten PhDs, right? But the point is that there is such a tension between where you're at today and where you were. And if you're not careful and you just concentrate on the benefits and the degrees and the family and all of that stuff that has been added since you surrendered to your disease of addiction, what can happen is that you become somehow swept away with it. You become satisfied with it. And you start to trust that what you have is enough until something hits you, until something does come up that you're not able to navigate yourself through as easily as some of the other things. And so the thing is that we who have been around for a while, there's places within the program that can really benefit from having our input. Newcomer meetings are one. That is a time when we have a newcomer in the meeting, everyone gets a few minutes to share what it was like for them to come into the program. That is a way of giving back, and that is a way of doing service work. And granted, the newcomer is going to relate, I think, more readily to someone that has 6 months compared to someone that has 16 years. But also, having had time in the program, you know how to phrase or work your process of coming into the program. You know how to word it in such a way where the pieces are relevant to the newcomer. What was it like at your first meeting, right? What was it like getting literature? What was it like to start doing step work, finding a sponsor? These are things that are very relevant to the newcomer. And I feel that the person that has been around for a while can keep their recovery fresh by interacting with the fellowship on a continual basis, or even doing service work. Maybe you only have one night a week that you're actually available to do service work, but that one night can bring such a level of stability and an atmosphere of recovery. There's some people around in our area that when I know they are chairing that particular meeting, I know that it's a good meeting for me to be present in, because there won't be a lot of the distraction, and the old timer has a more of a tendency to speak up when the meeting is becoming off kilter with personalities. So those meetings, I know that I can plan on going to, and I would be able to concentrate on the message. I would, be able to hear it, because there's some meetings in the area that there's so much chitter chatter along the wall. There's so many people passing their phones back and forth, looking at Facebook and different things that have absolutely nothing. It's not like they're using their phone to look at the just for today or even read their basic text, which a lot of people can do and do, but there's a difference in the giddiness of individuals that are connected to the meeting and not connected to the meeting. And so phones can be a distraction. Cell phones can be an absolute distraction unless they're being used to look at the literature that we're covering at that time. So I know for a fact when there's people that have respect for the atmosphere of recovery, that's a meeting that I enjoy going to, right? And I challenge anyone that's listening to use your gift of desperation, what brought you to this program, to use it in a way that can be beneficial, not just to yourself, but to those that are in your atmosphere. Recovery is serious because we know that it can, just like cancer, right? That's in remission. Our recovery, our disease of addiction can be in remission where we're not seeing a lot of the symptoms. And we're doing the things that we need to do to take care of our mental, emotional, and spiritual and physical health. But there can be collapses, there can be relapses, right? There can be those moments where now I have to kick it into high gear because my principled life is being challenged, right? And so usually if you've done the work, you do have some things in your tool belt that you can use and you can keep your recovery fresh. I'd like to encourage you to do that today, to really analyze what is going on in your recovery life. And does it convey that you are just comfortable and at a plateau and you don't have any desire to do any more than you've already done or gain any more than you've already gained, right? Has it become stale? Can you do 90 and 90? Can you get on some of these very awesome, beautiful Zoom meetings, right? These meetings that are held on the Zoom platform need people that can handle the crowd. They need people that can share and not be afraid of conflict because you will get a lot of conflict in the chat box, right? And so if you can volunteer 2 hours or 1 hour to help out that way, we need you. This is a we program and we need one another. So I think this is a beautiful just for today, and I hope that you do too. And I will talk to you tomorrow.